So they want to be a state, but do they speak English in Puerto Rico? And this is a topic that it is very controversial in the island. And this is actually my first video speaking in English, right here in YouTube. And I decided to do it this way because I wanted people from outside to see how actually the majority of Puerto Ricans speak English, which I consider to be like myself right now. You know, it's I'm gonna say fluently, not broken, but not super fluently. When you hear me, you can say that, hey, that's not his first language, you know. So I wanted to be in this position and to actually practice, you know, because all of my videos are in Spanish, so I'm doing this one in English. And there's actually a big gap in the English content creators that actually speak about problems from Puerto Rico. You know, the majority are doing it in Spanish, so I wanted to try this new thing, you know. And the first topic I wanna cover is like the majority of people in Puerto Rico are actually embarrassed to speak English. I don't know if it's something that is shameful, you know, like I have to do it right, you know. If not, then people are gonna make fun of me, you know. It's something that at schools we actually call it the difícil, you know, the hard one, when you have to speak English, you know, because it is not our first language. But I can say that the majority of people in Puerto Rico actually can speak some English, you know. The other topic I was gonna cover is that we actually had a governor, which he had this. He had to talk, you know, at Congress, and he actually was very, very. How can I say it? He had a lot of problems with the English because he wasn't fluently, you know, he wasn't fluent at using the language, and it was something that in Puerto Rico we actually made fun of him, you know, like, wow, this guy is the governor and he doesn't speak English, you know, like he's representing us over there in the United States, and how is he gonna like represent us if he doesn't know English, you know? And I think one of the biggest problems when it comes to English is that we actually think in Spanish. We actually think in Spanish and then translate, and this is a big problem because there's like a gap in time, you know, like you're gonna stop, like I'm doing it right now, you know. I'm actually stopping sometimes and thinking what I'm gonna say, then I'll translate, and this is not like a good formula, you know. If I'm gonna make videos, it is perfectly fine, but if you're gonna be the governor, well, that is a big problem, you know what I'm saying? And the other thing is that we actually speak Spanglish. We have a lot of words that we interchange, you know, from Spanish to English, like parking, hamburgers, like issue. We actually say issue a lot, you know. This is unlike other countries in Latin America. In Latin America, I was living in Mexico, and there are some places that you cannot use any word of English because they won't understand. They actually are gonna question you, like, what are you trying to say? And in Puerto Rico, you can usually say a few words in English and everybody's gonna understand what you're trying to say, you know what I'm saying? And the other topic is, now that I'm speaking about Latin America, some of them actually shame us Puerto Ricans when we travel, because if we don't know fluent English, they actually say like, "Oh, are you from Puerto Rico? Oh, I was expecting you to speak English." And well, we do speak English, but like I'm saying, it's like I'm doing it right now. You know, it's like it's not broken, but it's not super fluently. You know what I'm saying? And this is coming from English. It is actually taught at schools, mostly at private schools, but they did try some time ago when I was a kid. They tried to put bilingual schools. You know, that every subject was taught using English instead of Spanish. I'm not sure if that was a success. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure, because I did learn a lot, but I don't know if a lot of the kids actually learn something about this. You know, they have been trying to teach English in public schools since forever. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if it is getting the results they wanted. You know what I'm saying? Most of us, like me, our English we learn with cable. We actually learn with cable, watching cartoons. We actually have the same cartoons they got over there in the States. We actually got them here. Dexter, Johnny Bravo, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. You know, we watch all those cartoons. We actually watch them in English. You know, there wasn't any Spanish translation back then when we watched them. So we actually learned a lot of English using television. You know what I'm saying? Then eventually we switched to internet. And another big thing here in Puerto Rico is that there is actually cultural resistance to the language, to English, because we see it as, hey, here we're in Puerto Rico, we speak Spanish. So there is actually a lot of resistance to this. When tourists come here to the island to visit, we actually think like they should come here and try to speak Spanish instead of us trying to talk to them in English. Of course, they are the tourists, they want to visit here, but the problem is that like the tourists that come to the island, they have no intent of learning or talking to you in Spanish. And this actually bothers a lot of Puerto Ricans, because they say like, why are we like doing it their way and not the other way around? Like if they come in to Puerto Rico, they should try at least to speak in Spanish, you know, because when we go there to the States, they actually expect us to speak English and not Spanish. And this is actually very big here in the island, you know what I'm saying? I remember when I was younger, I actually wanted a job at the tourist areas here in Puerto Rico to actually use the language, because we are taught at schools, but we don't practice outside of schools, you know what I'm saying? Like everything is in Spanish in Puerto Rico. So I actually wanted to get a job at these tourist areas to practice, you know, the English. The majority of Puerto Ricans that actually speak English very fluently is because either they are in private schools or they have lived in the States at some point in their life, you know what I'm saying? And I actually ended up doing Uber, and it helped a lot. Like a lot of my videos in this channel, you know, are from doing Uber. And I have a lot of experiences that I have put in videos, like using the language, you know. It is actually like the hidden gem, you know, like the hidden, like something like the hidden benefit of doing Uber. It's not just the money, you know. If you're doing it in these tourist areas, you're actually practicing your English, because a lot of the people that come here, they actually speak English and not Spanish. And another thing is that we kind of use English as an intelligence measure. You know, if you can speak English, we actually see like you are actually smarter. You know, if you cannot speak English, you know, we see like this is not like the right person for the job. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's actually a congressman that we sent to Washington, you know, to represent us. And a lot of the times, these guys do not speak English. And in all of the debates we do here to, like, you know, like decide which candidate is the right one, they actually asked these candidates in English any question, you know, and if you cannot answer in English, how are you gonna go to Congress and represent us, you know? And we actually see it as an intelligence measurement. Like, we see like this is not the guy we want there. So that's something we do not only with the politics, you know, actually for jobs. If you don't know any English, then even though it doesn't matter, because you can be the most intelligent person in the world. You can be the smartest person in the world, and don't know English. You know, a lot of people are from places that don't speak any English, and they are really smart. You know, it doesn't really matter. But this is actually really controversial here in Puerto Rico, because as the title suggests, there's a lot of people that want to be the state 51, the 51 state of the United States. But a lot of the proponents, you know, of statehood, they actually don't speak English. And this is actually something that the opposition, you know, the people that want the independence from Puerto Rico, they actually use this as something that you should think about it. Like, you want to be a state, but you do not know any English. And they actually make fun of these people, like, sure, you want the statehood, but you don't know English. This is actually crazy. But I'm gonna cut the video here. I hope you guys like it. It is my first doing it in English, in an attempt to actually broaden, you know, like the audience of this channel. Because as I said in the beginning, there's actually a big gap in the content creators that are doing topics about Puerto Rico. There's actually like one or two that are doing it in English, and the other ones are doing it in Spanish. So people from outside of Puerto Rico, they have no idea what is going on here. You know, they are actually talking about topics, but they don't have any idea what are our thought process, you know, when deciding about politics, or when deciding about anything related to the United States. So I hopefully did a good job. Hopefully I can do a lot of videos doing English, you know, as the language. So let me know in the comments what do you think about this, what do you think about me speaking English, and we'll see you the next time.